The Advanced Setup menu lists various settings that can be altered, enabling you to fine-tune the DB2 to better suit your application. Use the Select Adjust encoder to select Advanced in the front menu screen. Spatial Crossover is a new output processing tool that splits the audio into two frequency bands with adjustable stereo width for each band. This is a useful tool for dealing with poor room acoustics, less than ideal speaker placement, and as a diagnostic tool for phase imbalance or as an effect to change the bass sound focus. Frequency sets the crossover point in Hertz at which the two bands are separated. HF width adjusts the stereo width of the upper frequency band. The LF width adjusts the stereo width of the lower frequency band. Slope changes the response of the crossover at the frequency split from a gentle 6 dB octave to a steep 24 dB octave slope. Off-on disables or activates the spatial crossover. Effects Cascade configures the DB2 for cascaded effects and can be turned on or off. From version 2 firmware, the DB2 has the ability to generate internal MIDI clocks, which can be used to control the tempo of a connected DAW via USB. To activate internal MIDI clock, enable on. Channel is to change the DB2's mixer's default MIDI channel. BPM range selects the most appropriate tempo range for the style of music you play. You can also select external MIDI clock as the synchronization source. Brightness allows you to adjust the brightness of the front panel LEDs to suit the ambient lighting conditions. Booth Setup Trim sets the signal level of the booth outputs. Phase allows you to reverse the signal phase of the booth output. Some situations, reversing the booth phase can improve the fidelity of the system. Source can choose from mix, clean feed or phones. Mix will send the same signal to the record out as the main mixer outputs. Clean feed will send the mix output less the signal from the mic channel. Phones will send the headphone monitor signal. Trim adjusts the operating level of the headphone. Mode toggles between split and normal. Clean feed selects whether or not the signal from the microphone input is routed to the headphones, plus auto mute and auto cue. Trim sets the signal level of the analog record outputs and the digital output. Source, there are three options available: mix, clean feed or phones. Mix sends the same signal to the record out as the main mixer outputs. Clean feed sends the mix output less the signal from the mic channel. Phones sends the headphone monitor signal. The digital output will also be affected by any routing changes made here. Meter mode has three different options: bar, dot, peak. Bar, peak reading VU display. Dot, single dot display showing peak level. Peak, as with bar, but the highest signal level LED will remain lit for a short period. Show cue will enable or disable the cue level to the meters. Channels 1 and 4 have software RIAA preamps. Channels 2 and 3 have hardware switches. This will give sufficient gain and equalization to play vinyl straight into these channels. When set to on, it applies a preamp to channels 1 and 4. If set to off, normal line level is active. This is useful if you need 4 vinyl turntables connected. The curve of the channel faders can be set to sharp, mid and gentle. Choose a setting that best suits the style of music you play. This menu selects the routing options for the upstream USB. Send 1 corresponds to USB 1.2, send 2 to USB 3.4, etc. Channel 1.4 analog routes the selected converted analog input to the sound card input. Channel 1.2 digital routes the selected digital input to the sound card input. Mic prelev routes the pre-level microphone signal to the sound card input. Mic out routes the post-level microphone signal to the sound card input. Channel 1 to 4 post fader routes the selected post-fade channel audio to the sound card input. Record routes the record output to the sound card input. Booth routes the booth output to the sound card input. Mix routes the mix output to the sound card input. Phones routes the headphone cue signal to the sound card input. Mixer reset will force a hard reset of the mixer. The About screen displays the currently loaded firmware version and bootloader version of the mixer.